Hello everyone, Nadeem here with PC.Solutions.Net. So Mark asked me about sync issues in Outlook. So Mark, this one is for you. And I know this is, I get this question from time to time, so it probably help a lot of people out there. There's a couple of things. First, you want to make sure that you know what all are you syncing. Do you have only an Exchange account? Along with your Exchange account, are you syncing any SharePoint lists? Because anything related to any kind of sync activity, whenever there's an issue, that information goes into sync issues. So let me switch over to my screen here and let's see what we have here. So now in this Outlook, first of all, I have 3 sync issues. So this is just an overview of how many total sync issues do I have. These could be local, these could be server side, or just conflict. So I have a total of 3 issues right now. Now, I don't use Outlook much. I just opened it up just for this, and so you're going to see this updating down here for a while because it's been like months and months since last I opened it and let it sync. So anyway, so we have some sync issues here. Now, if we look in conflicts, now we have 1 conflict. So what this means is that since I only have an Exchange mailbox and some shared mailboxes, but I don't have any SharePoint lists, so what this conflict means is there's a conflict between a local item and a remote item. What does a conflict mean? If information changes on both sides, local and remote, and the system cannot figure out which version of that item is the latest version, that's a conflict, right? So it'll show up in conflicts. So basically the system cannot determine which is the latest version of this item. Then we have local failures. So I don't have anything in local failures. Local failure is going to be when Outlook has a problem reading something locally and then sending it to the server. If you have something in local failures, let's say you sent an item and that item has a local failure. If that item shows up in local failures over here, that item is not going to show up in your Outlook web access under sent items. You may see it under your local mailbox on the local machine only, but you're not going to see it on the server. That's why this error is there, is telling you that, hey, for whatever reason, I wasn't able to sync this stuff up to the server. And then we have server failures. Let me dismiss this. So now the server failures happen when an item is updated on the server side, but for whatever reason, it cannot get synced down to the local machine. A scenario would be, let's say you see an email only when you log into Outlook Web Access, but you don't see it in your local Outlook. And even though your Outlook says all folders are up to date, well, then what that means is that the machine cannot sync that server-side info down locally, and that issue is going to show up in your server-side failures. Now, over time, especially when you have Exchange Online, you are going to have certain sync issues. I think pretty much everybody who has Outlook synced is going to have some kind of issues, and they do have some kind of issues. We use these issues to troubleshoot things deeper. Like if it's a consistent recurring issue, then we will, this sync issues will help us identify the problem. And I've run into a situation where there was actually a corrupt item on a customer's machine. This is back in the day when they had Exchange on-prem. So the user was saying, hey man, I can't find this information on the server when I'm remote, but I can see it when I'm on my office computer in my Outlook. So finally, when we looked under the sync issues, we found a specific folder was always consistently showing up over and over in local failures. So for whatever reason, that one folder was not able to sync up. And that was the problem. So we scanned that folder, cleaned up the folder, took care of the corruption, and boom, synced right up. So This information helps, but if unless it's a recurring issue, you probably don't need to keep anything in here. So, and that's what I'm going to do is, what can you do over here? Just select all these items, and I'm going to simply right click and get rid of it, delete. Because I know that I don't have any long-term issues, only 3 items now. If it was a long-term issue, you will see hundreds, if not thousands of items in there, because every so many minutes it'll create entries in there. And that helps. So I'm going to get rid of this one too. Just delete permanently. Any local failures, none. Server failures, none. So there was just one conflict that was causing the issue, which I removed, and boom, the conflict is gone. Everything should be good. So I'm going to leave Outlook running, let everything sync up over here. And but that's what this sync issues means. You can ignore it. You can empty it out. It's good info to have if you have a consistent ongoing problem. Then IT admins can troubleshoot using this special folder. Now, even if you delete it and empty it out, you're probably thinking, well, what, the information is now gone since I deleted it. How is IT admin going to troubleshoot if they need to? Well, they're only going to need to troubleshoot if it's some recurring issue. And if it is a recurring issue, then the entry is going to get recreated anyway. So normally you can empty it out and it doesn't have any issues, no problems. A lot of sync issues that we see are related to bandwidth or bad connectivity. So if you have a large item with an attachment in there and you have not very good internet connection, then when the system is trying to sync that large item, that large attachment, the connection might time out. So the system never gets a chance to upload that document to the server. That's when you'll see a local failure. So that's what happens. That's what these failures mean. And especially in the online world, in Office 365 and Microsoft 365, you're almost always going to have sync issues unless you check it like every week or something, and nobody checks it every week, right? But once in a while, go in there, just empty it out, clear it up, and it shouldn't have any problems. If you do have ongoing issues, like there's a certain item that only exists on one side, either on the server side or the local side, then this special folder will help troubleshoot what's going on, which item is the problem child, and get to the bottom of it and resolve it. So that's it. Mark, great question. And if any of you have any more questions or want me to talk about something specific, let me know. Be happy to do so. And until Friday, everybody have a great day and be safe out there.